While Joe Burrow's rookie year ended after 10 games, there was a lot of promise for the Bengals with him behind center. Despite an awful offensive line and play calls that didn't put him in a great position, Burrow was able to move the offense, make a number of anticipation throws, and showed glimpses of the talent that got him drafted number 1 overall. While there was good, there was also some bad. Burrow had some real ball placement issues along with predetermining throws and locking onto his first read. You can get a look right away at just how bad this offensive line was for Cincinnati. Burrow took 32 sacks and 42 hits over his 10 starts for the Bengals this year. Lucky for the Bengals, though, Burrow showed good anticipation on throws downfield. He was able to navigate collapsing pockets and get the ball out before his receivers had broken on their routes. That anticipation was necessary because the Bengals just flat out did not have time to let longer developing plays happen. As soon as Burrow gets to the top of his drop, he's under pressure. After sliding away to escape that pressure, Burrow delivers a ball that's low and away on a comeback down the sideline. What's more, he has released the ball before the receiver has even gotten out of their break. Because Burrow had to rely on throws like that where he's throwing with anticipation, he loved to read the single receiver side of the play. That simplified his reads and let him throw off the leverage of the defender. It lets him decide and begin to throw much earlier in his drop and protects him from getting hit. As soon as AJ Green wins outside leverage on the 10-yard out here, Burrow knows he's going to throw the route. The ball is out of Burrow's hands when AJ Green is only 8 yards downfield and still has his back turned to the quarterback. Burrow also did a good job at keying single defenders to understand where they'd be in the passing lane. Here, he's confirming that the linebacker isn't going to get out and underneath the quick hitch from AJ Green outside. Based on the pre-snap look, Burrow is assuming that with 2 high safeties, the Chargers are likely in cover 2 man, or cover 4. With the corner walked up and pressed, that likely means it's cover 2 man. The only defender that will be able to get under that throw if AJ Green wins on his route is the linebacker. Burrow looks at the linebacker to confirm that he's carrying the seam upfield, and then again shows anticipation and begins his throwing motion before AJ Green is out of his break. It really is amazing how quickly the offensive line gets beat on some of these plays. As a result, when Burrow can key off of one player and throw off of them, that's almost his only option. If he holds the ball to confirm, he's taking a sack. All he's doing here off the play action is confirming that Myles Jack at the linebacker position isn't getting enough depth to cover the crosser by T. Higgins. Myles Jack comes up, and Burrow throws a laser over the middle behind him. To help Burrow get the ball out of his hands, the Bengals ran a ton of quick passing game. Here, the Bengals have 2 slants on the outside and a flat route underneath. If the flat defender flies with the quick out, that leaves a window inside to the slant. If the next linebacker gets under the first slant, there's a window to the slant outside to the number 1. In a similar concept here, all Burrow needs to identify is whether the flat defender is flowing to the outside. As soon as they attack the flats, Burrow throws right behind them to T. Higgins on the quick hook route inside. It's efficient, simple, and gets the ball into the hands of some pretty talented receivers for the Bengals. However, focusing only on one defender also got Burrow into trouble once defenders caught on to the Cincinnati quick game. The Bengals here are running a double slant concept, something they'd run many times before. If the defense takes away the inside slant, that leaves a window outside for the second slant. That's exactly what happens here, except the linebacker is reading Burrow's eyes. As soon as Burrow flips to read the concept, the linebacker first walls off the window for the inside slant and then immediately widens outside to the second slant. Burrow expects that second window is going to be open and throws with anticipation that it will be. However, the linebacker has widened right underneath it and intercepts the ball. It's no real surprise that Burrow would lean on keying one defender and that his reads would end up being rushed because of his poor protection, but the results were unflattering at times. In a number of situations, he missed late rotations or threw the ball before diagnosing what was happening. The Colts here are disguising their coverage and shift into cover 4 post-snap. Usually, that leaves the middle of the field open. However, that safety to the boundary is keying off the number 3 receiver. That receiver is his responsibility if they go deep and inside, which is exactly what happens. There's no route on the single receiver side to hold him, so he's free to roam in the middle. Burrow expects him to be out of the picture and throws the post only for that safety to read Burrow's eyes and jump in front of the route. Burrow also had some issues with ball placement on deep throws. There were a lot of points left on the field because of that. A lot of it has to do with his mechanics. When he loads up to go deep, he'll often start his forward throwing motion with his arm. For quarterbacks, it has to start with their feet and radiate up like a whip through their hips. Their elbow leads the throw, but it's the last domino in the chain to get the most power and velocity on the ball. On this throw against the Colts, Burrow's upper body is leading the throw. That causes Burrow to lose some power and forces the ball to be slightly underthrown and ultimately incomplete. His receivers won the route, and Burrow has a chance to set his feet and throw this, but he doesn't get enough on it to lead the receiver into the end zone. It's no doubt a tough throw, but this ball is only in the air for about 45 or 50 yards. Open receivers that were underthrown on deep balls was a recurring problem for Burrow. He had a tendency to rise as he was throwing the ball and fall away from the throw, which can cause vertical inaccuracy or for the ball to hang in the air. Rising from a bent knee position as you're throwing adds one more thing for your body to compensate for on the throw. At the NFL level, that ball placement is an issue. Tipped balls turn into interceptions, balls that are slightly off prevent receivers from running after the catch and extending drives, and touchdowns turn into incompletions. Burrow is again rising as he throws this ball, and instead of leading his receiver to the sideline, he throws it high and away, which allows the safety to contest the catch and cause an incompletion. Granted, this is all in the context of understanding that Burrow was under a lot of pressure on almost all of his dropbacks. Burrow made plays on the move throughout the season that showed his talent, but he also made plays like this where he's falling away under pressure and underthrows a sure touchdown for an interception. Burrow's escapability and touch on the throws on the move should excite Bengals fans though. Burrow has exceptional accuracy at times and has a knack for making things happen downfield after extending the play. The Bengals had a lot of isolation routes and they didn't do a great job of scheming things open for him, which forced Burrow to have to extend plays and throw with anticipation. What Bengals fans should be nervous about is that offensive line and the hits that Burrow has already been taking. Penei Sewell won't fix it all. The Bengals tried to combat the pressure by going to a lot of empty formations and getting the ball out quickly, but the offensive line could not hold up with any sort of consistency, especially without help. Even when they did leave in help, the protection plan was often baffling, to be honest. They'd leave tight ends or receivers on defensive ends, be incapable of picking up stunts, and just generally got overpowered inside. There's a lot to be excited about for Joe Burrow and the Bengals. He showed glimpses of why he was the number 1 overall pick, but he also showed glimpses of some concerning trends. The weapons on offense are there for Burrow, the offensive line and protection clearly aren't. If they add a couple pieces there in free agency and add Sewell in the draft though, this offense could quickly become one of the better units in the league. With time to build strength after his ACL tear and another season in the league, Burrow could show everyone that the Bengals are back. Hey guys, make sure to check out the Patreon for weekly game picks, some extra bonus content and video breakdowns every week. There's also early releases for these full breakdowns. You can donate just $1 a month and that gives you access to all of it. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time, I'm Casey Sully and I'll see you on the next film breakdown.